would you like it if I could access your bank account every second of every day? I could drain a little bit of your bank account into my account to buy my stuff. And they'll usually say no. And I'm like, well, that's exactly what's happening.
Hey, my name is Tan Mei. This is AulAccess. Whether it be new information, new news, or brand new people to give you new insight, you got all access to it right here. So today we got the main man himself, Eric. Eric, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me, man.
Fantastic, man. Okay, so, quick background on yourself, right? Well, what are your hobbies? What are your interests? I know you had told me about Muay Thai, but, tell the viewers about yourself.
Sure. Nice to meet everyone. My name is Eric. I'm 30 years old, blessed to be living in beautiful Southern California. My main hobbies right now are chess, Muay Thai, reading, anything under the sun, meditation. For those interested, I just got back from a 10-day meditation, 10-day Noble Science Vipassana meditation retreat in Joshua Tree, California. Yeah, that kind of interests a lot of people. So if you are interested, I highly recommend you check out their website. It's transformative. They have locations all around the world, including Chicago, and it's completely free, so you don't need any money. You just kind of show up and go. I went to school at the University of California, Irvine, and during that time, I interned as a project manager in Barcelona. That was more so it's fun to study abroad. Might as well get some work experience while doing that. And as well as Washington, D.C. as a government affairs consulting intern. That's more like a lobbying side, just like Excel spreadsheets for days, go to the Hill occasionally, take some notes, report back. So I'm sure you know what that is.
Yeah.
Right after college, my first, full-time job was at Snap Inc. That was helping craft their ad algorithm. And the two main reasons I chose that were the first reason was location. So it was on Venice Beach, which was super chill. And the way Snap had their campus structures, they didn't have one big building. They bought a bunch of little buildings like houses all along the Venice Beach boardwalk. So you just kind of jump around and work at different houses and different work pods. So I thought that was pretty cool. Plus you're on the beach, so you can eat your lunch every day in the sun, watching the skaters and surfers. And I know you're in Chicago, so you don't really...
Yeah, man.
You don't get that.
No.
But the second reason I chose that was a month before their IPO. And obviously I joined late, so I didn't have any equity or anything. But it was also pretty cool to see the company, like, what it was like going through that, like, for the people involved. And it was fun. The food was really good. Great work experience. From there, I got my first full-time job. After that, just like, what do I do next? What does college tell me to do? Well, consultant, lawyer, doctor. That sounds kind of fancy.
Yeah.
So I ended up working as a bankruptcy consultant. In short form, what that is when a Fortune 500 company goes bankrupt, like one of our clients is Washington Mutual, there's a lot of debt that has to be redistributed amongst parties. And it's a tiered system. So like tier 1 gets paid first, tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4 gets paid last. And I'm sure given the state of everything, the mom and pops, the me or you, the average person, I'm guessing you can guess where they got paid. And to quote Ricky Bobby, if you aim first, you're last. So the mom and pops got paid dead last, and you'd often get paid after years, cents into dollars, what you're owed to not equate to what you're paid. And at that point, it's years later, it's thank you for this $17 check. I really appreciate it.
After this long.
Yeah, this long, after filling out legal forms, it's just an annoying process. So at that point in time, I was also really getting into cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin. It was 2016. So that's when I was really consuming all the material I could, reading all the books like Andreas Antonopoulos, Saifa Dean, Caitlin Long, Stefan Levera. I had a group chat with my friends. One ended up at Kraken, one ended up at Coinbase. And so we text each other tweets and podcasts. So listen to this. We'd have sad offs, meaning someone buy $200 for the Bitcoin, and then we'd be I have to buy more. So something like $250 and then $300. So that was a nice little group of friends we had going. But the ethos of Bitcoin is pretty much against rent seeking, which didn't exactly align with the consultant path. Because while the firm was also great, I have nothing bad to say about the firm itself. The people are chill, and as far as consulting firms go, you have to dress up in a suit. There's a ping pong room, which is good for consulting firms. So in terms of that, it was cool. But the structure of the firm, the structure of the business itself was, obviously as a consultant, you want to bill it to the client, meaning me, I do hours, I do various different tasks, usually involving Excel. And then I'd log those hours, bill those hours out to the client. So as long as I was billing out hours to the client, they're relatively chill. So in that sense, I took longer than I should have. At that point, I was doing work all day, so I was 100% of the time I was like listening to podcasts. So I went pretty heavy in Joe Rogan and just whatever branched off from
thanks.
there. Yeah. But the issue with that is going back to the structure of the system, meaning I was getting paid by the client. The client's a bankrupt company. So there's a pool of money that's just getting thinner and thinner. So that didn't really, so I was in theory, or realistically, I was kind of taking money from the end user, which I'm like, okay, now I'm super into crypto. This doesn't exactly
not the same thing.
Yeah, it doesn't exactly match either. So I did what every smart person would do. I waited till my bonus, obviously, because
you're gonna get your bread.
You're gonna wait your bonus.
Yeah, exactly.
Then I quit without a backup plan. But at that point in time, I knew I was going to work in crypto or Web3. At that time, Web3 wasn't even a term. So I started going to local cryptocurrency meetups. I met the original ShopX team. That was 2017, and between 2017 and to now, we launched another SaaS platform just because the bear market was kind of dull. That was called CartRev or Pollinate. It had two different names, went through a rebrand, and that replaced affiliate codes for Shopify platforms. So if you're a brand on Shopify, you download the app, upload any or all of your products to our database, add a discount and commission, and then any user could sell any product from a singular link. So let's say hypothetically, I like this Nike shoe, this Reebok hat, this Adidas shirt. I could add all three to a link, and then you be my friend, my follower, whomever. You see, okay, I like those. Eric's kind of cool. Let's see what he bought. Then you can buy them from my personal link. You get a discounted product. I would get a commission. Brand would get a sale. Everyone's happy. So at its peak, that had over 100 Shopify brands using it. And the secret sauce behind that was two things. We kept the checkout within Instagram, meaning you could buy directly within the app. Instagram, obviously. Yeah, Instagram didn't like that. But... And the other secret sauce was we kept the checkout as simple as possible. Meaning we could check out within less than 4 clicks just to increase those conversion rates. The important thing about that startup is I spent a lot of time dealing with e-commerce and Web2 brands, specifically Shopify, which obviously translated well to ShopX. So ShopX is my main project right now. When you think of ShopX, I want you to think of the Google or Apple Web3. Long-term, we're going to be a suite of products for any brand to download an app. We're live on Shopify, soon to be live on WooCommerce. And then from within your platform, the brand can interact within Web3 and gain Web3 benefits. So we have 2 products live right now. The first is ReserveX, and that's NFT-powered loyalty programs. So if you're a brand, you're on Shopify, you're on WooCommerce, you can download the ShopX app. You get the right amount of tokenized software licenses. So that's another first. The ShopX token is a tokenized software license, meaning if you're a brand wanting to use our products and services, you have to have a certain amount of tokenized software licenses. So you're a brand, you get those licenses, we scan your MetaMask, you have those licenses, you're good to go, you get full access to ReserveX. And then from directly within the app, just by filling out 2 simple forms that take less than 5 minutes, it's so easy during QA, my grandma could do it. You can deploy your own smart contract. Brands don't really know they're deploying. Well, they don't need to know they're deploying a smart contract. All they see is like, okay, NFT image, price, description, all that good stuff. Like it's 2 forms. You deploy your smart contract as a brand, and then from there you can add e-commerce benefits to that NFT. So any of your since we work directly within Shopify or WooCommerce, all your products are already directed because that's a platform you're using. So you can add e-commerce benefits in the form of products to those passes. You as a brand, you deploy your NFT pass, then your customer is like, okay, I want this shoe that comes with pass A. Okay, to get the shoe, I need to buy pass A. And then the customer can then purchase the pass with either credit card or Ethereum. So as a brand, and this leads into our second product, which is SquadX. So as a brand, when you deploy your smart contract, you obviously get to decide where the Ethereum goes. So as a customer purchases the pass, you get paid out in real time. You have control of 95% of the ETH. So if you're working with an agency or an influencer, you can program in their wallet just so within the smart contract, everything's coded in, everyone gets paid accurately, which is the proper incentive if you're working with, like, let's say Nike's working with LeBron James, they split 50-50. LeBron knows every time a sale is made, his wallet gets paid. So he's much more likely to actually push the NFT. And then same goes for agencies. So for your listeners, a lot of brands really just outsource all their marketing to marketing agencies. So if an agency wants to plug and check our solution, they can program in the wallet themselves. So that's good for them. ShopX earns our revenue from that 5%. So let's say one brand sells one NFT pass for $100, they get 95. ShopX earns $5, and that goes into our second product, which is SquadX. So that's the first ever blockchain-based ambassador program. So just like Twitter is paying out its creators from their ad revenue, we pay out our community for helping our system grow from ShopX ReserveX revenue. So from that 5% we earn, we give them half. So if one brand sells one pass for $100, ShopX makes $250, and then amongst our community of license holders, they split the extra $250. So in theory, the main logic behind that is it's better to give than receive. It just feels better.
Yeah.
But B, it also creates kind of an upward spiral of just positivity for everyone. So when the brand's making sales, they're obviously happy. ShopX is earning more and more ETH. We're obviously happy. Our communities, because we're earning more and more ETH, our community's earning more and more ETH, so they're happy. Once they're happy, they're posting about it, because people tend to do that when they're making money, like they're getting paid. They're like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
They do the whole posting thing. That's drumming up more attention. And as we live in the attention economy, more and more brands see that, creating more and more mints. So that's how that whole cycle is supposed to work. And I believe it'll pick up more as the bear market returns. So that's ShopX in a nutshell. And just to tangent off, I do want to shout out another project I'm working on is dating. That's about to go live really soon. I think you saw that demo. I think it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And so that's essentially AI-powered matchmaking. So if you're a user, you can do stuff like, okay, show me. So the theory behind that is Tinder dating apps don't work because of churn marketing, because like the top 5% get all the access to everyone. So in theory, it matches you based on your digital footprint. So I can be like, okay, find me a girl within 20 miles who happens to like new jobbies and anime and has an engineering degree with less than 1,000 followers on Instagram, is on private, and is close to their family, and vice versa. So you can match, you can get really granular with that. So that's going to be a fun thing as that goes live. I think that product is really sticky, but I think we're going to talk mainly about ShopX because it's a Web3.
I mean, I definitely know some dudes who just heard that last part be like, oh, their ears kind of perked up a little bit. Oh, wait, I could finally get a match on Tinder or Hinge or something. Yeah, no.
Yeah, because I've been on both aspects of the spectrum, of like the non-matches to all the matches. I'm just like, oh, okay, this is different, but I don't think we'll have a shortage of dudes on that.
Oh, wait, what?
I don't think we'll have a shortage of dudes on that.
Oh, no. I think you might have, definitely not.
Plus, the thing is, it's also fun it's also like, think ChatGPT, but Tinder. So the Cupid AI, sorry, after this we'll go right back to Web3.
Yeah, no, you're good, man.
Yeah, the Cupid AI mascot, think of like a Cortana version with Cupid. So that's kind of the base of it. So if you played Halo, just look at look at Cortana, like, that's what it is. So it's like that with ChatGPT, and so you can do ChatGPT chatting with yourself type of thing.
So instead of people like grinding Valorant, will be grinding basically that app. They'll be playing that app like it's no other.
Yeah, and obviously we're gonna do a bunch of fun things with like partner with brands, or you get like discounts and just suggest here. So there are plenty of ways we could take this. And I think it's gonna be one of the first apps in VR. We're already talking about like the Apple Store, so we want to set it up so you can do slightly dystopian, but it's the direction we're going. Whereas like instead of meeting in real life, you can do like an AR VR headset. So we're building up the framework for that, which I think if we position ourselves well, that could be kind of cool, where like Cortana takes your hand, takes you to the thing, and just well, not Cortana, her name's Cupid, but I know it's Cortana.
Okay, so I mean, you said a lot of great things that I kind of want to all touch upon. I mean, you brought up different aspects of what the Web3 will kind of look like with AR, VR, NFTs, minting. Like the people here, right, who are likely listening are people who are living primarily in a Web2 in the sense that they're not really that exposed to the space, right? And I know you mentioned from the people who have license holders with ShopX, right? The ambassadors will be able to actually get a percentage of revenue off of that platform. You know, for the people, how does ShopX, and of course I know the dating app has its own obvious perks for the average consumer, finally be able to get in a match. But like for ShopX, right? How does that affect the B2C market, if that makes sense? The consumer end.
Cool. Yeah, that's a great question. And before I dive into it, just to clarify the difference between Web 1 and Web 2 and Web 3, I think of Web 1 as read-only, meaning anyone can read content on the internet. Web 2 is read and write. We can read content, we can write our content, but we don't own it. So Instagram, Facebook. And Web 3 is read, write, and own. So that's where NFTs come in. So we can read our content, write our content, and we can also own the content. In terms of ShopX, See, that's a good question because we're not really. I don't view us as like a B2B company, even though we do make our sales to brands. We're more of a B2B2C company, meaning we could sell all the brands in the world. Like we could sign like literally every single brand in the world, but if they can't sell the product to their customer, it's kind of dead on the water. In terms of how it affects the customer, that really depends on the brand. Because if you're a brand using Reserve X, you can launch an NFT pass and you can launch as many as you want within the platform. So like if you have the licenses, you can launch 1 pass, you can launch 5 passes, you can launch 10,000 passes, and then you as a brand, you get to decide the benefits that come with the pass. So for example, with our first product, one of our favorite brands is McHugh. We launched with them first, and he's a hyper hat store in LA.
Okay.
So he launched a gold, silver, bronze style pass for his customers. So his biggest issue was he would release a hat, bots would come in, soup up the inventory, sell on the secondary market for like 10 times the profit. The 16-year-old kid who actually likes the hat, supports the brand. It's like a family business type of thing where like has a basketball hoop in the store. It's like people go in and like chill at the store. It's like that type of vibe.
Okay.
Like they wouldn't get the hat. So when he launched his gold, silver, bronze style pass, it was really a way for him to create a new connection with his community. So within the Discord, of course, like they get the benefits, like the gold holders, they get early access to products, they get discounts, they get exclusive products, they get that whole shebang. But on top of that, they get special access to making the brand in the form of a token gated Discord channel, meaning like that's the group of them, they're OGs, they're sharing memes, having a good time. He gets their input for specific hat design. So it makes that connection more personal. Yeah. So in terms of impact, it really just, you feel like you own part of the brand. And to take things a step further, because they're NFTs, and I've been using the term passes just because of the whole crypto market.
Yeah.
But let's say because they're NFTs, you own the NFT, meaning you can sell for however much you want. So let's say hypothetically the brand does shoot from value. Theoretically, your pass could raise. And although you did buy it for the e-commerce benefits, if you outgrow like the hat store brand, like you're 40, you don't need any more hats, you could sell it, and then the value, since the value of the brand raised, the value of the NFT pass could potentially raise. So it's a way for the brand to share the wealth from like, instead of like shareholders with its actual community. So
some two concepts that I kind of pulled out from what you said, and correct me if I'm wrong, right? It's building a sense of community, and also with NFTs, right? When people hear NFTs, right, they think of digital art, Bored Ape, like the typical, like, you know, damn, this guy paid like 50 grand for this monkey with like a pipe out. That's like the general consensus, at least for people not vested in the market, right? But what I'm hearing is that NFTs in this sense is almost like an asset.
Yeah, I would say it's more of a digital asset, and you made a really good point because that's kind of been like the bane of my existence for the past 2 years in the sense like
trying to explain to people this.
Yeah, so we've actually differentiated between an NFT and an ENFT. An NFT is like what you just mentioned, the Bored Ape. And then the ENFTs are what ShopX creates, or NFTs with e-commerce value. So like I've talked to plenty of Web2 brands like, okay, what's an NFT? It's this non-fungible token. It's a way to create a connection between you and your consumer. Okay, that's all great and all, but are 95% of them scams? And then you're just like, well, kind of, yeah. What good? And then they think of your example. It's like, well, what good is like a $500,000? I don't think Bored Apes are 50 yet, but they're like, what good is a $500,000 monkey? It's like, I don't know, but they're different for this way.
Yeah. So how do you manage explaining that to like obviously, like, you know, this is, if you can best explain how you explain to brands you're talking to, right? Because at the end of the day, they're people who will probably invest in this technology, not from a business standpoint, from like a consumer standpoint. You know, what's like a good analogy you could use to how it could fit to like everyday life, if that makes sense?
Yeah. So in that case, I find it the simpler the better. So when in doubt, you just call it, okay, they're higher quality loyalty passes. As a brand, if you want to increase your loyalty, you want these passes. This is the way to do that. If you want to go into more detail, I like the timeshare analogy. It's like, I want you to think of these passes as a timeshare. Like imagine this, I have a timeshare in Hawaii. It's my timeshare. So if you're going to Hawaii, I'm going to push my timeshare because I love the timeshare. It's like every time my family goes in Hawaii, they say my timeshare. Versus if I don't own the timeshare, it's like a just random hotel. It's like, okay, just stay wherever. So it really drives like customer ownership. And because the customer feels ownership in the brand, they're going to market it more. Like they're going to, like you've seen the NFT market where people put their NFTs as PFPs for their profile. Yeah. So people can do that with brand NFT. So it really creates that word of mouth marketing. And the most important thing for brands is, again, if you're trying to explain it to a brand, that you really just have to get down to dollars and cents.
Mm-hmm.
It increases the customer lifetime value so the biggest thing is increases customer retention. So as an e-commerce brand, you're trying to get a customer, you're going to spend money to get that customer. It's called customer acquisition cost.
Mm-hmm.
More often than not, you're spending more money than profit you make for that customer. So the name of the game isn't getting a customer, it's customer retention. So if you can get your customer to purchase that NFT pass, they feel they have a sense of loyalty to the brand because they feel like they're part owner, which really just keeps you coming back to the store. So thus increasing customer acquisition or customer retention. So we've seen like roughly a 5 to 6 times increase in repeat store websites by the pass holders.
Okay.
And not only that, is it increases the conversion rate too. So you have an idea of how much product you have to make. So for example, like I'm a brand, I create that NFT pass. You already purchased the brand, you purchased that NFT pass. 80% of the time you're going to buy the product that's linked to the pass. Oh, it's my NFT pass, it's time to buy the product. So the average e-commerce conversion rate is 2%. But amongst pass holders, we've seen 80%, which is pretty unheard of in the e-commerce market. And it goes again because of the ownership exclusivity access. Because it's like, I bought this pass for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay, that's every time this new hack comes out, it's like, I get it first. So then you end up buying it. And then from there, you start telling your friends about it. You're just like, I post about it. Because again, it's like a sense of pride. It's like, think of it as like going to your favorite sports team. And this is a new analogy I'm just thinking of now. But think of like think of your favorite sports team. If you owned an individual jersey that no one else owned.
Okay. Like a one-on-one.
Yeah, like a one-on-one collection type of thing, where it's like, okay, this is my jersey. Like if you have like the only, RIP Kobe, he's my favorite player.
Yeah.
But like imagine you have like his one-on-one, the Black Mamba,
oh my god, that would be like so
a game.
Yeah.
You just wear it out. It's just like, this is mine.
Yeah,
yours type of thing.
So it's a sense of pride almost. Is that what you're saying? It's almost like a piece of their digital identity, if I'm on the right track, or is it more just, more personal than that?
It really depends so that the beauty of this is it's on the brand. If the brand does a good job of that, that's totally the case. And I do think NFTs will win because people are associating their NFTs with personal identity. Like, I don't know if you're on crypto Twitter, but you see everyone just kind of repping NFTs. So so like people know themselves as like Bored Ape 15 or Pudgy Penguin 17. That's who they are. Yeah. They're not even like a person anymore. So this is a way for brands to capitalize on that excitement and kind of take it to e-commerce and kind of ship them products. And it's important to note this is a win-win situation for both the brand and the consumer. Because I think we both know you can't really force anyone to do anything because that's just not sustainable. These customers wanted to purchase the pass. Like, okay, I want the benefits of this. I want the benefits of this e-commerce pass. They wanted the benefits so much that they've actually dealt with the terrible UI within crypto to get this pass. Like, with our first drop with the Mag Park, over 50% of the users were 100% branded to crypto. But they wanted the benefits that came with the pass. So, like, think about you're a new user, it's like you're 20 years old. You're like, okay, I like Mag Park. I like the brand. I do want this cool hat that comes with it. The pass itself was 0.75 ETH too, which is kind of expensive. Like, I know for like NFT degens, that's not that much, but like in Web 2, that's a pretty penny for like a loyalty pass, and to deal with crypto on top of that. So over 50% of the users are 100% branded to crypto, but they wanted the pass, so they learned how to work with the technology. Now they have the pass, they get continuous benefits in the form of like product drops, exclusive access, and all that good stuff.
So I wanted to actually circle back a tiny bit, because I know that the way you're describing in terms of purchasing is in cryptocurrency, and that comes with its own stigma of itself, of pump and dumps, and it's a whole, and of course there's the big ones like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Polygon, like the Solana, like all these big coins that are building communities. If you were to explain to someone, right, why cryptocurrency is more viable, or not more valuable, but what is the differentiator than the current day account, like you said, rent seeking, right, with the using money, actual dollar amount versus digital coins? How can you explain to someone who has no idea and is kind of almost been fear-mongered from all those pump and dumps or whatever it might be from the news, to start looking into this technology?
Yeah, so I guess the example I would use is would you like it if I could access your bank account every second of every day? I could drain a little bit of your bank account to my account to buy my stuff. And they'll usually say no. And I'm like, well, that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
And the reason it's happening is because we have an inflation monitor supply, meaning the government, the Fed, which is a privately owned organization. And if you look into the backside of that, it's super sketchy. But that's neither here nor there. But the reason is they can print money at will, taking away value from your dollar to give to themselves. And a good, again, this isn't a new first time example for me.
Of course.
Just think about it this way, like, people trade their dollars, their hours for time. So in a way, money is the representation of people's time. So the average person makes $60K in a year. So that's a year of their life that they spend doing stuff. And then the government or Fed comes along, they print $6 trillion in 1 year to fund God knows what, like how many wars they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, I don't know the exact number because mental math isn't my strong suit, but like in a way, divide 6 trillion divided by 60K, that comes out to be a year number. So they're taking that many years of life from the average person because you're trading, like, it's a way modern day slavery, in my opinion. But of course.
So how does crypto alleviate that? Like, what is that alleviation or that value point?
So crypto alleviates that by taking away perverse incentives, meaning with Bitcoin specifically, it's a hard cap, meaning no one can create more money. So if someone wants to earn your Bitcoin, they have to give it to you voluntarily. They can't just I can't just print money for me and then spend on how I like, taking value from you. It's like, okay, if I want Tommy's Bitcoin, it's like, okay, I better produce some value, and then you have to voluntarily give me that Bitcoin. Otherwise, no Bitcoin for me.
So it's kind of circling back to the whole concept of creator economy. Unless you're providing value, you're not going to get,
paid.
Money. It's essentially not going to get paid. Yeah. No, that's a really good way to look at it. And in terms of, so that's very interesting you say that, right? So now we kind of go into this new area, right, where we'll probably end up being paid differently, or we'll get compensated differently. You've probably seen this in the e-commerce space since you work heavily close with that. But how does this kind of almost transform the job market or create new career paths, right? Because now it's a lot more individualized, the way we kind of run things.
Yeah, so, and again, this is a cool thing. So in terms of skill set, the skill set is becoming different. Meaning, like, there's new code jobs, and like Web3 developers are going to get paid a bunch in the future. AI is coming into play. That's a whole thing. So I think that's going to be a way for the top percentage of people to leverage their skills and kind of monopolize the market. Like, for example, through AI, you can be a surgeon in Thailand, but operating your bots you can operate like bots at such precision. You can be doing surgeries in LA. I mean, like, someone in LA who would normally go to a local surgeon was like, okay, now I'm just going to be the best guy from Thailand. So I think that's going to happen. What was the original question?
How does it kind of transfer the job market, and kind of how could you break it down? A few of those new career paths, like you mentioned, like the surgeon, right? I couldn't imagine getting operated on by a bunch of robots, and that's just gonna feel weird versus an actual person. But yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah. So in terms of job market, I think it's also restructuring the job market. Meaning the large conglomerate corporation of like 50,000 people is becoming less effective. I think people are becoming more mobile with this push. Meaning, like, if I'm a top tier developer, I work wherever I want. I set my own hours. I do that stuff. In terms of team size, I think the optimal team size is less than 10. Anything else gets more heavy. So I think it's becoming a way I think it's unlocking people's creativity, meaning people are going to be able to follow their intellectual curiosity. That'll lead to the people with a similar mindset. They form a small pod. They work on that project for a time being. It's either successful or it's not. So it's a way for people to, like, work in small teams, work on multiple projects, just doing what fits them best. And in terms of job market, it's people are gonna have to change. They're gonna have to adjust how they do the jobs, but I'm sure they will be able to do that.
Yeah. So, like you said, new skills are going to have to be needed to kind of infiltrate and be prevalent in this new job market that we'll eventually have. I always ask this.
Correct, but it's also nice if crypto does take the case.
Okay.
That the whole size of the pie would be bigger, meaning there's going to be less, like, hypothetically, in a cryptocurrency world, there's less red seeking because you can't just print more money.
Yeah.
then people have to work less hours. There'll be less stress, which alleviates a lot. Like imagine if like the Fed weren't just printing money every day.
Mhm.
I think like the work week may be like probably less than 20 hours for the average person. Like, cause think about it, like half your money is getting stolen from taxes,
Sure.
half, and then it's just the amount you save is just getting inflated away. Because your money is getting inflated away, you're forced to put in investments you wouldn't normally do. Like for example, if you have a bunch of money, you're not going to hold cash because that's devaluing at an incredible rate every year. You're going to put in random stocks, you're going to put in random houses, you put random properties, which that increases the price of everything. Because like, let's say I'm a billionaire, I'm like, I don't want my cash to go away. So I'm going to start buying stocks and houses. That's when I'm buying that stuff that drives up the price for stocks and houses. So then everyone else can't purchase that because you're going to be a billionaire. So I think it really just helps the whole incentive structure.
So we've talked about a lot of the positives. In terms of the negatives, right? Because I come from the cybersecurity space. I know security with blockchain is a huge thing.
Oh yeah.
Like how, obviously besides cybersecurity or even including that, like from your perspective, right, who's very much vested in this, what do you see as not only a pitfall, but things that consumers who are looking to do research and are learning about the space should really look out for before they invest in this kind of new technology?
Yeah, so when you're investing in this kind of new technology, and I take back the word investing, when you're entering the ecosystem of this new kind of technology, the most important thing is to do your own research. The thing about cryptocurrency, it's all about personal ownership. Meaning, because I own my Bitcoin, it's my Bitcoin, no one can take it away. But on the flip side, there's a downside of that. Meaning, if I lose my Bitcoin, I send it to the wrong address. I can't call like Chase or Citibank, like, I sent my Bitcoin to the wrong place. It's stuck. So yeah, you can't get a refund. So if it's your coins, it's not your coin. If it's your coins, they're your coins. If they're not your coins, they're not your coins. In terms of cybersecurity, honestly, what's worked the best for hackers is just like the classic phishing scam. And I can see that as a area of concern for as Web3 becomes mass adopted. Like, for example, if I'm a hacker or whatnot, I would wait for a Web2 brand to get onboarded. And then from there, that's a nice honeypot of new users. So that's going to be an issue going forward. But to counter that, it's on the end user to prepare themselves, but we're offering brands all the materials they need to prepare their end users. So it's like a teach the teacher type of thing.
So when it comes to obviously learning this kind of stuff, right, not just from the negative part, but the positive parts too, in terms of even, like you said, entering the ecosystem for this space, how does someone start, right? Because you said you went into communities and then you had a group chat with your homies and you were talking about different coins, and obviously through there you probably had a community you built within. For someone who's individual, right, how do they start?
Yeah, so that's actually a relatively simple answer. The best way to start is to buy some Bitcoin yourself. Bitcoin, Ether, whatever cryptocurrency, Dogecoin, it doesn't matter. Because from there, you have some skin in the game. And I'm not talking like a big amount, maybe like 10 and $5. Because from there, you have some skin in the game. And then you're actually incentivized yourself to learn that. And then that's a whole rabbit hole from there. And usually what I've seen happen for most people is they buy some Bitcoin. The price, as we know, the price fluctuates greatly. And that acts as a magnet, like, oh, why is this going up? And then you research it more, and then you either buy more or you buy less. Because so the best way to get involved is literally to buy some Bitcoin, because if you don't have any, there's no real reason, and it's kind of a lot of hours went into researching Bitcoin and all cryptocurrencies. Like, without getting skin in the game, there's no real reason for you to have to do it.
So suppose you do, right? And the reason why I'm asking this is there's a huge information gap, I think, from people not only obviously understanding, what this space is, but how to effectively play in this space. What are a couple of steps people could take, whether it be like resources like, hey, go check out YouTube, or, read this book. Like you mentioned you read some books about, Web3, like what would you recommend in the step format people could do at least to get a start, besides obviously buying Bitcoin?
Yeah. So the first thing I would recommend you do is do some research prior. So I guess the best intro person to Bitcoin is Andreas Antonopoulos.
Okay.
So he has tons of lectures online. So they're really digestible. They're made for new crypto users. And he also has 2 short form books, The Internet of Money, Part 1 and 2. Those really just take an hour. Like, there's summation of his lectures. Those take an hour to read. So just watch a couple Andreas episodes. If it catches your fancy, watch more. If not, the YouTube algorithm should take you from there. And then from there, if you're trying to purchase Bitcoin, Coinbase is probably your best bet. That's probably the most safe. So check out Coinbase, make an account, link your bank account, buy like $5-10. And then from there, you have your Bitcoin. You probably research Andreas Antonopoulos. And this is a step further, but it's also, I think, a very important step is to take custody of your own cryptocurrency coins. Meaning if I have, and I do have some crypto on Coinbase, technically Coinbase owns that. If they want to shut down like FTX did or anything, I can't really do anything about that. So you can take it off the cryptocurrency exchange and take control of your crypto yourself in the form of a hard wallet. Think of a hard wallet as a USB device where once it's not connected to the internet, so that's where your cryptocurrency is stored. I personally like to use Trezor, but again, ethos of the space is do your own research. So start with Andreas Antonopoulos, create an account with Coinbase, get like $5 to $10, and then play around with the technology, send it off to yourself so you know how to use it so you can operate in the system effectively. And it's important to note in the future for crypto since we're really early in cryptocurrency still, for cryptocurrency to be acceptable or mass adopted, I think it has to be operating in the background without anyone knowing it. So, for example, my mom, let's say hypothetically, she purchased something with a USD stablecoins. She has her bank account that's not going anywhere. She needs to be able to tap her phone, take her funds, transfer that to a stablecoin, tap her phone again, pay the vendor in that stablecoin, receive her product. So it has to be all done in the background, which is something we're working on.
Okay, so real quick then, I know you just mentioned how for it to be truly adopted, it has to be gone in the background before anyone knowing it. And I'm sure with like Dubai, a huge crypto hub where they've they announced that Ethereum, XRP, and Bitcoin are officially digital asset DAOs for that state. How does that? How long do you anticipate? Obviously, it's a completely shoot in the dark, right? Yeah. But how long do you think it'd take, and what steps do you think that society as a whole would have to move to kind of get to that point you're talking about?
Yeah, I'd say probably around 5 to 10 years is when it's fully adopted, and
so
the
not
reasons
too far.
are, not too far, because it's like one of those like slowly and then it accelerates quickly.
Yeah.
The main reason for that is people are actually having the biggest reason people weren't into crypto is because they had no reason to be. The second biggest reason is no incentive to be. Mm-hmm. So right now, people are seeing their dollar and all the dollars around, like government currencies around the world deflate. Like, okay, what's the solution to that? It could be gold, it could be stocks. They're going to come to their own answer. I think the lifeboat for that is Bitcoin. And in terms of like ShopX, like e-commerce wise, if you want to purchase an NFT, you have to interact with the space. So there's an e-commerce incentive, and other companies are going to offer more incentive. Like one of our clients is Fox Studios. Oh, they have a show. If you watch Rick and Morty, they have a show called Copopolis. Same author. If you're in Crab Chicken, you get exclusive like content. You get to vote on rights. Crab Chicken may show up in the show. So
that's awesome.
Now major brands are offering their customers incentive to actually enter the space. And this in turn solves the usability of crypto, meaning like you're fucking Nike or Sephora. The user interface isn't now, but you now as a major brand, since dropping the space, you're going to spend the money because you have loads of cash to make the onboarding more seamless for the end crypto user. So it all kind of takes care of itself in that sense.
So that's very funny because you mentioned Rick and Morty, right? And I wanted to
it's a great show.
Great show. I wanted to touch upon how people might actually already be in this space without actually knowing it. Like with Roblox, Fortnite, Epic Games doing a lot of things with a lot of brands. Roblox, very funny. I actually got in this space, and I got very interested in 2021 when I saw an article where Gucci had made like a ridiculous amount of money, a couple million off of just a digital drop on Roblox, just selling their items on there. And it comes down to that, digital identity, and people eventually going to get to a point where, their digital social profile might not end up being more, but I don't know if you have any thoughts towards that kind of thinking process that people might already be in the space without even knowing it.
So I think right now it's totally possible. Meaning there's some NFT like Mag Park holders or Crab Chicken holders. Like it's possible that they may be in the space without not even knowing it. But I would say the steps to take, you kind of have to have an ETH or credit card. Okay. It's unlikely, but it is possible. In the future, that will be the case. People will be operating in this space where they won't even know they're operating in this space. Like for example, one of our clients, they were going to launch a TV show. The NFT pass was going to redeem a makeup kit where you could, like the same one in the TV show, so you could do makeup kit in real time with the main character. Okay. So people will operate in the space, and it could be part of your digital footprint. Like I could see NFTs being diplomas, meaning like it's instead of a diploma could be, and this is not even built yet, but it's a possibility. It's like the NFT could be a diploma, and then your class credentials could be NFTs attached to that diploma, or like each class credential could be NFT, so there's no way to fake that. And since you love Rick and Morty, I'll give you like a ShopX Easter egg.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at our logo, just think of Rick and Morty portal gun crossed with like the original X-Men, like the cartoon one.
Yeah.
So those two kind of combined.
Oh, that's sick. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Cyrus gets credit for that, but
yeah. So I guess what I was talking about. So it sounds like it wasn't completely irrelevant, but in terms of, because I really wanted to bridge the gap, because there's so many terms floating around now with like blockchain, crypto, metaverse, Web3, and I can name off a bunch of more, but those seem to be at least the most prevalent ones, right? How do you, because of course the AR and VR becoming prevalent too, and eventually we'll get to a point where we're all combined together. Like I guess for me and also for viewers, because I'm brand new to the space too. I'm clearly just ventured in. How is there a possibility that we'll eventually be living through a lens, like a VR AR lens, and we'll be just living completely digital, like like Ready Player One. Like the you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's good. Good movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of the people who believe there's infinite possibilities. So to answer your question, yes. If I had to guess what's going to happen, I think that type of lifestyle is Web 4, where people are just living directly virtually through the lens type of thing.
Yeah.
But I also could see us going to Web 5. Which would, in my opinion, Web 5 is the outdoors again. So people are just
back to being outdoors.
Yeah, it's like circle back to like.
You gotta touch some grass or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, cool. I mean, yeah. Trying to think. So, trying to make sure. Okay, cool. Then Eric, one last question for you, right? And it seems like you're really big into meditation. And maybe this is even part of your answer or not, but imagine you're sitting at a big dinner table, right? Who are two people you want to invite there to be dead or alive? Who would you want to have dinner with, essentially?
Oh, my past lives.
Your past lives?
There's one. I like the Spartan version of me and the Atlantean version of me. Those are my two favorites right now.
So how did you? How did you discover those past lives? I guess.
Oh, that's a whole trippy thing.
Oh, okay.
So it came from the meditation. So I think of timeline. So this is a little late. But 3D time is linear, is going forward. 4D time is you can go horizontal. So I believe in the alternative space, meaning like there's in this present moment there's a limited variations of what's happening. Like there's one with me, the president of ShopX. There's one with the janitor. There's one homeless. There's one and everything in between. So I think you can select the timeline that best fits you. And if your listeners are trying to listen, a book I recommend about that is Reality Transurfing by some dude named he's like a Russian.
Yeah.
That was good. So I started doing that, and then eventually I started in the dream state. I went in with the intention of starting to go through going backwards in time. So it started off really blurry, just like living as like the Zulu family. I lived as animals. I lived like as woman and man. But so then I target the ones I wanted to learn and just kind of I'm spending more and more time there. So those are my specific ones. But if you're looking for an actual answer, the two people I'd want to meet most are probably Marcus Aurelius and Miyamoto Musashi too. They're pretty cool.
Guess the big philosophers. I actually am. I just started meditations actually.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. So it's really cool then. So I just curious now, because this question just came on top of my head. So it seems like obviously you're an innovator / like dreamer / someone who forward thinking, right? You like to reflect on the past and start thinking of something new. How was meditation, right? And that kind of introspection that you have help you to kind of create the ideas not only that you have today, because I'm sure there's people here who are viewing here, hey, I'm interested in this space, but since it's so futuristic that I have to be able to think way far ahead and be very creative. How has it helped your creativity, this kind of journey that you've gone through?
Oh, the meditation is probably the best thing ever.
Yeah.
So my personal stance on meditation is I like to meditate right as I wake up and right before I go to sleep.
Okay.
You can't always do it right before you go to sleep.
Because you just fall asleep.
The reason, you just kind of
yeah.
I mean, it's a good hobby. Like if you're going out, it's kind of hard to meditate type of thing.
Yeah.
But it's a good hobby to meditate right before you sleep. And the reason is that's when your mind is most open to the subconscious. You have more melatonin in your system.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to go into the meditation. It's like, okay, I'm going to meditation. Then I go into the meditation. It's like, okay, I'm going to feel unlimited. And once I feel unlimited, I just kind of start my day.
Oh.
And then kind of everything works out. It's like, okay, all the Zoom calls are going to go great. This podcast is going to go fantastic. And then it turns out. So what that happens is it locks in a future for you. So I call it a quantum collapse type thing. If you think about something strong enough with enough intention, you believe it's going to happen, then that future happens. So like, but it's also a double-edged sword, meaning like whatever you think about happens. So if it's, so hypothetically, let's say I don't want to break my arm.
Mm-hmm.
The universe is like, okay, he's thinking about breaking his arm, so
snap that shit.
Yeah, so it's gonna snap. Yeah. I view everything in terms of energy and vibrations.
Okay.
So the higher you go up in the vibrational scale, the better you are. So like your emotional state is just a different vibration, like anger, fear,
mm-hmm.
whatever. Those are around 200. The top is 1,000. So that's where Jesus, Krishna, and the Buddha laid.
Mm-hmm.
Gandhi, Muhammad, they're like in the 800s. Bible resonates at 1,000. 500 is like Prophet says, so that's like joy, love. So if you're in a state of joy and love, the universe is a reflection of yourself. So I genuinely wish the best for everyone. It was like every day, like I'm going to the gym. It's like have a great workout, have a great podcast. So then it reflects back on me, and it's all possible through meditation because that's what raises the initial vibration, which and this is kind of going tangent, but this corresponds with the chakras.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you find, obviously it seems like it obviously benefited your life just the way you're speaking about it, but like what it sounds to me is it's a immense sense of gratitude that you just wish to have like only positive thinking. Therefore, when what comes around goes around, and so I'm assuming that it's if you think positive and you give out positivity, you're hoping that positivity will come back to you.
Yeah, think of it as like we're all Super Saiyans. We have our aura.
Okay,
so
cool.
If I were thinking negative of you, like send you negative thoughts, to send you that negative thought, that would be bad for you. But that stains my aura.
Uh-huh.
And the same thing goes for positive. So to go more detail into the meditation retreat, like that retreat is no joke. It's probably one of the more challenging things I've ever done in my life. It's like 10 full days. There's no phone, no writing. You just have your room, meditation
mm-hmm.
hall, and a walking path. Like you can't even talk with anyone, no looking at anyone. It's like completely
not even look at anyone.
You're not supposed. Obviously, they can't.
Obviously, you have to. Yeah.
But you're not supposed to make eye contact,
okay.
type of thing.
I got you.
So the technique they use, it's what the Buddha used to reach enlightenment. So
mm-hmm.
what you do is you focus on here, like your nostril, for like 3 days. Eventually, with such attention, you gain like a new sense, meaning like you feel stuff because you've been focusing for 3 days doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel sensations, and then you scan your body back and forth, and that's extracting past trauma from your body. So
mm-hmm.
think of it like if you're a scientist and you have a metal that you need 100% pure, you run it through magnets. So and when you run through magnets, it extracts impurities. So you're just doing that with your past traumas, cravings, and aversions. And as you remove that, so like all of us have cravings and aversions, and those cravings and aversions lead to more cravings and aversions, like a multiplier effect. So like every time you really wanted anything, it probably hasn't ended too well for you.
Yeah.
So during that state, you're generating negativity, which spreads. But if you can extract most, if not all, of your craving and aversions, you become a positivity generator, which is what the great prophets and everything have become, which is why so many people gravitate towards them. So once that mindset's changed, you start to raise everyone else's consciousness, which is, again, going back to the upward spirals of ShopX and type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like I've found that since I've raised my conscious level, people around me are raising, and they're just kind of like happy. And since I'm happy, they're happy. And since they're happy, I'm happy. So it's like, yay, go team.
Yeah, go team. I mean, that's an awesome way to look at it. That's really cool. That's really, really cool, actually.
I'll send you the link just because honestly, I recommend everyone do it. It's a good time. I think they do have one in Chicago.
So my dad actually had done it. So that's why my dad had done it. But when I tried booking the place last year, I know the wait time is, at least you have to book it way in advance. Because I tried booking it like a month before, and the next slot closest to it was like 6 months out.
Oh yeah, no. So you book it. You just book it right when it opens, or sometimes like a last minute cancellation or something, you can get in that way.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Well, I mean, hey Eric, I enjoyed having you on today. It's really been insightful. I hope
talking to you too.
I hope it was insightful for everyone listening here. Is there anything you'd want to mention, whether it be ShopX, clarify anything about Web3, crypto, that people could come out of this being like, hey, I understand this space a little more now, or anything else you might think?
No, I mean, really, we're just here to help. So if you have any questions about Web3, my overall goal in life is to live a nice, peaceful life. I don't think I could do that if I think the money system is corrupt. I think we all agree on that. And I view cryptocurrency as a solution. So if you want to find me on social through shopx.co, you can find the Twitter, you can find Instagram, Eric D. McHugh, or Twitter, Eric McHugh0. Just shoot me a DM. And I'm happy to walk you anything. So if you have any questions like Trezor or Bitcoin, Coinbase, or whatever, I'm happy to get you onboarded.
Yeah.
Because my logic is if I get you onboarded, then the game theory takes you from there, and then you onboard your friends. And again, we all win. Awesome.
Well, let's all win, guys. So thank you. My name is Tanmay. This is All Access. And this has been Eric McHugh.